The Israel-Palestine conflict is one of the most enduring geopolitical issues of our time. Its roots lie in the late 19th century with the rise of Zionism and Palestinian nationalism. The British Mandate for Palestine witnessed escalating tensions and violence between Jewish and Arab populations. The 1947 UN Partition Plan proposed independent Jewish and Arab states, but was rejected by Arab leaders. This led to the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, resulting in the establishment of Israel and the displacement of Palestinians. The conflict has continued intermittently ever since, marked by wars, uprisings, and failed peace attempts. Understanding the historical context is crucial for comprehending the complexities of the conflict. The decades following Israel's creation in 1948 saw recurring conflicts. The 1967 Six-Day War resulted in Israel capturing the West Bank, Gaza Strip, East Jerusalem, and Golan Heights. This occupation remains a major point of contention. The late 1980s witnessed the First Intifada, a Palestinian uprising against Israeli rule. The Oslo Accords in the 1990s aimed for a two-state solution, but progress was hampered by continued violence and settlement expansion. The Second Intifada in 2000 brought renewed violence and suicide bombings within Israel. The rise of Hamas, controlling the Gaza Strip, further complicates the peace process. Each of these flashpoints has deepened mistrust and animosity, making peaceful resolution more elusive. The Israel-Palestine conflict's human toll is staggering. Estimates suggest over 100,000 casualties on both sides since 1948. The conflict has claimed the lives of civilians, including children, caught in the crossfire. Displacement is another devastating consequence, with over 5 million Palestinian refugees registered with the UN. Israelis, too, have endured rocket attacks and terrorism, living with constant security concerns. The conflict's psychological impact is immeasurable, with trauma, fear, and uncertainty permeating daily life. Checkpoints, security barriers, and the threat of violence restrict movement and limit opportunities. The human cost extends beyond statistics, encompassing shattered lives and a pervasive sense of loss and injustice. The current situation in Israel-Palestine is often described as a frozen conflict. The peace process has stalled, with no significant breakthroughs in over a decade. The two-state solution faces significant challenges. The West Bank remains under Israeli military control, dotted with Israeli settlements considered illegal under international law. Palestinians in the West Bank face movement restrictions and limited self-governance. Gaza, controlled by Hamas since 2007, faces a dire humanitarian crisis. An Israeli blockade and internal Palestinian divisions have crippled the economy and restricted movement. Gaza has experienced recurrent cycles of violence, with rocket attacks from Hamas met with Israeli airstrikes. The absence of a genuine peace process perpetuates the cycle of distrust and violence. Predicting the future of the Israel-Palestine conflict is a daunting task. The current trajectory offers little hope for a swift resolution. One possible scenario is the continuation of the status quo, with neither peace nor all-out war. This conflict management approach does little to address the underlying issues. Another scenario is a resurgence of violence, either through a third intifada or a major escalation in Gaza. Such a scenario would have devastating consequences for both populations and destabilize the entire region. A more optimistic scenario is a renewed push for a negotiated two-state solution, requiring significant concessions and international support. Achieving a lasting peace necessitates addressing core issues such as borders, security, settlements, Jerusalem, and the refugee question. The Israel-Palestine conflict is not just a regional issue, but a global concern. The United Nations has played a central role since the conflict's inception, passing numerous resolutions and providing humanitarian assistance. The United States, as Israel's closest ally, wields significant influence. The European Union has provided financial assistance to the Palestinians and advocated for a two-state solution. Arab states have gradually adopted more nuanced positions. Despite international efforts, a lasting solution remains elusive. The conflict's intractability highlights the limitations of traditional diplomacy and the need for innovative approaches. A sustainable peace requires addressing underlying issues of mistrust, fear, and historical grievances, demanding a commitment to dialogue and reconciliation.